While we may think that our precious Game Boy cartridges will last forever, the truth is that they're getting up there in age, and will at some point fail, whether through accidental damage or component failure. Additionally, the internal battery keeping your save data intact will eventually die as well, wiping your precious save file, especially if you're working with an original battery that has never been replaced. Thankfully, we now have the tools to preserve both our physical cartridges as well as the precious data on board. So, let's take a look at them. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Tito and welcome to another episode of Retro Renew. Today I want to show you something that isn't necessarily the most exciting, but extremely important nonetheless. We're going to be taking a look at the preservation of your Game Boy games. Now you may be asking yourself, what do I mean by game preservation? Well, as I'm sure many of you are well aware of, the save data for many of our beloved games for the Game Boy family of consoles rely on small batteries in order to keep your save intact on the volatile memory. If that battery dies, so does your save data and all of the countless hours you've devoted to that game. Not only that, the physical wear and tear of taking your original games in and out of the console is very slowly, but most assuredly, killing your cartridge. Well, killing may be a bit extreme. But let's say you have a very rare title or mint condition game that you don't necessarily want to lug around and perhaps risk damaging or worse, losing. That brings me to the topic of this video. This is the InsideGadgets GBxCART, which is a simple device with an incredible array of capability. This device allows you to download your save files as well as dump the ROM to your personal computer, as well as other great functions, which I'll go over later in the video. It works for any Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance game. Additionally, it lets you write this data to a large array of compatible flash carts such as this one from Retro Game Repair Shop. Speaking of which, I'd like to thank them for sending the GBx and their custom flash cart over to the channel for review. And if you're interested in picking one of these kits up, Retro Game Repair Shop has graciously provided a 10% discount on all their products, including these, if you use my link in the video description, as well as the coupon code TITO at checkout. That's TITO. Now please note these are affiliate links, so I will receive a small percentage commission for each completed sale. This is a great and absolutely free way for you to support the channel and get a great deal on retro modding products at the same time. So again, big thank you to Retro Game Repair Shop. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to start off by showing you the contents of these kits. Then I'll demonstrate just how easy it is to use, review the additional functionality this kit offers, go over the pros and cons, and of course provide you with my overall thoughts. So this is a fairly simple kit. All you get is the GBxCart module itself. Up here is the cartridge reader, and here's the USB-C interface to plug into the computer. And as you can see, this is the Pro model. The only added benefit the Pro version provides is the ability to use a Game Boy Advance shell to cover the PCB. I unfortunately don't have a spare one to show you this, but it is a very cool, simple solution to protect the PCB. Now in this video, I'll also show you how this device works by not only downloading a game's ROM and save file to the computer, but also how to flash that data to a cart similar to this one from Retro Game Repair Shop. This particular 2 MB reprogrammable flash cart supports games that require real-time clock functionality, such as Pokemon Crystal. Additionally, it features 32 kilobytes of non-volatile memory, or FRAM, for your save files. Now this flash cart doesn't come with a shell, so I'll be installing it into this generic translucent one. Now you may be asking yourself, why get a single ROM cart like this one, which only fits one game, versus a multi-ROM external memory flash cart like the EverDrives? Well, these generally emulate original hardware more closely in terms of functionality and compatibility, which makes them more power efficient than an EverDrive. They're also great if you want to make a dedicated copy of one of your favorite games or don't plan on playing a ton of different titles. And they're also quite a bit cheaper. So while not as flexible as an EverDrive, there is certainly a use case for these types of carts. Okay, Now let me show you just how easy it is to use these devices to back up your game data. In order to show you just how easy it is to use this kit, I'll be dumping the ROM and save file of my original copy of Zelda Link's Awakening, and then write the ROM and save file onto the flash cart. I'll also dump the ROM and save file of Metroid Zero Mission so you can see how this works for the Game Boy Advance as well. Now, I unfortunately don't have a single ROM flash cart for the GBA to show you the right process, but it is exactly the same as a regular Game Boy game. Additionally, you can transfer the dumped ROM onto an external memory multi-ROM cart such as an EverDrive or Easy Flash device, and even an emulation handheld such as the RG351MP, which I reviewed in last week's episode. Okay, to get started, first go to the InsideGadgets website, which I'll have linked below, and download the Flash GBX software. Install it onto your PC by following the on-screen prompts. Once installed, open the software and go ahead and then insert the cartridge into the GBxCART reader. Then plug in the USB-C cable to the GBX reader and the other end into your computer. Now you can press the connect button. This will initialize the GBX reader, allowing you to now select either Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. Since we'll be backing up Link's Awakening, I'll select Game Boy. As soon as you do that, the software will read the data on the cartridge, and from here you can do one of two things. You can either dump the ROM, essentially downloading the actual game data, or back up your save file. Let's dump the ROM first. I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop to save the ROM and the save file to. I'll call it Zelda Backup. I'll then select Open, and then Save. And that's it. Link's Awakening has been fully backed up to my computer. But now, let's back up my save file. Hit OK, and then click Backup Save Data. I'll use the default name again and then save it to the same folder as the ROM. And that's it. I have fully backed up both the Zelda ROM as well as my save file. So now that we have a copy of Zelda saved to my computer, let's go ahead and write it to the flash cart. First, click Disconnect, which will sever power to the cart and allow you to remove it from the GBX reader. It is very important to do this step as you don't want to prematurely remove the cart. Now go ahead and insert the flash cart. Click Connect, and then again select Game Boy. This time around, we're going to select the right ROM button. You'll be presented with a prompt asking if you would like to identify the cartridge type. Uncheck the box and select Yes. Then hit OK on the next prompt. Then navigate to the Zelda ROM file we just backed up and hit Open. Give it a few seconds and it will eventually begin to write the ROM onto the cartridge. Great, now we need to transfer our save file to the cartridge as well. Hit OK, and then press the right Save Data button, and then select Restore from Save Data File. Go ahead and select our backed up save file, and then press Open. It's as easy as that. Hit OK, and then press Disconnect. You can now remove the flash cart from the GBX reader and pop it into a Game Boy and begin playing right where you left off. Here you can see I have my original game and newly flashed one next to each other, and they have identical save files. Now the process is exactly the same for the Game Boy Advance, except with the GBA cart installed, you do need to make sure you select Game Boy Advance on the Flash GBX software. Great, so now that we know how to use the GBX cart as well as the software, let's go over all of its features. First, as I just demonstrated, you can back up both the ROM and save files of your Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. Additionally, you can write them to single ROM flash carts to make copies of your favorite titles. The software is simple and extremely easy to use. You can also download all of your Game Boy camera photos to your computer, which is just fantastic. I unfortunately don't have a Game Boy camera to demonstrate this, but I'm assuming it's just as easy as backing up your ROM and save files. And lastly, you can do some pretty cool things like put full movies onto the flash carts, which was very nicely demonstrated by Bob from the YouTube channel Wolf Den. He put the entire movie Tenet onto 5 GBA flash carts, which is pretty amazing. So definitely check out his channel and that video if you haven't already. So when it comes down to it, this is a very capable device, and it is an absolute must for any Game Boy collector and enthusiast. It allows you to back up all your games, and more importantly, your save data, which is irreplaceable. It gives you peace of mind knowing that if anything ever happened to your actual cartridge, you'll have access to that save file as well as the actual ROM data. I actually just can't believe I've never owned one of these until now. I'm hoping to find some similar solutions for my other cartridge-based consoles before I lose any of the save data on those. So now that we're familiar with all the functionality these products provide, let's go over the pros and cons. Starting with the pros, the GBx software is extremely easy to navigate and use, which is fantastic. With just the click of a few buttons, you can back up any Game Boy game. It's really just a pleasure to use. Additionally, at $40, this is a very competitively priced product, and remember, if you use my coupon code TITO, you can actually save 10% more. Also, this is the best legal way to obtain ROM files. Since you are dumping ROMs of games that you already own, there are no legal issues at all. Also, having the ROM dumps of your game collection allows you to play them on other platforms, such as emulation handhelds. I know that this is a pretty obvious pro, but I think it's really cool being able to play ROMs that you actually backed up on your own instead of just downloading them from the internet. Lastly, this device is invaluable for when you want to change the battery on your Game Boy carts. As you know, if you were to simply replace the battery without backing up your save file, it will most certainly be lost. Being able to back up your save file makes changing batteries for the Game Boy a non-issue. Alright, now let's get into the cons, and there are a few minor ones. First, the GBx kit doesn't come with a USB-C cable. You have to provide your own. Not really a huge deal nowadays since most folks have one of these lying around, but for those who don't, you will need to purchase one separately. Additionally, I think it would be very neat if the GBx was able to somehow auto-detect whether a Game Boy or Game Boy Advance cart was inserted. This would prevent any user error and take one step out of the process. Now, looking at the flash cart, my only issue with it is that it's a bit pricey at $60. There are cheaper alternatives out there, however, this one is among the higher quality carts that you can purchase. Additionally, it includes advanced features such as an internal real-time clock for games that support that functionality, such as Pokemon Crystal for the Game Boy Color, overall making it a more compatible platform. All in all, the GBxCART and the Retro Game Repair Shop Flash Cart are fantastic little devices that give you incredible functionality and peace of mind when it comes to backing up and preserving your Game Boy collection. It's something I wish I had many years ago, but I'm glad that I now own. Anyway guys, that about does it for this video. I think these are great products that belong in any Game Boy enthusiast's collection. If you have any questions about the GBxCART or the Retro Game Repair Shop Flash Cart, let me know down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps me and the channel out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, see you all next Thursday.